Jon Van Boening's office, how can I help you? I'm sorry, he's not in right now. Would you like to speak with his vice president, Mr. Aiden Havasquez? Certainly.
What do you want?
That Dr. Marshall doesn't know what he's talking about. I want the pavilion done by September. Okay, ma'am. John's not here. I'm making the calls now. I want raises for everybody. He's off playing golf somewhere. I'm telling you, I'm the CEO. Okay, ma'am. Take care. Bye.
Jon Harlan Van Boening grew up with a smile, and why not? Jon was the son of a candy distributor. Born in Stockton, California, roots were established, the foundation for his love of family, community, sports, and the great outdoors.
Grew up close to the Calaveras River, so I learned how to fish and shoot my BB gun and do all that stuff as a kid. Loved to wander that canal and go up and down the Calaveras River there, which runs through the north end of Stockton where I lived. Really enjoyed playing baseball, played flag football, rode my bike all over, was the vice president of my grammar school.
That first taste of leadership stayed with Jon when he and his family moved to Bakersfield 2 years later. Described as shy and at times an extrovert, Jon found a home for his competitive spirit as an athlete at East Bakersfield High School. But when his dad joined a local group of entrepreneurs establishing the Casamore businesses on Baker and Kentucky, that need for a competitive edge sent him in a new direction.
I decided to stop playing baseball and to focus on working because I enjoyed having a car and the gas to go wherever I wanted and money to take dates out to hamburgers at Stan's Drive-In when I wanted to. And I learned further about the retail business, but after working at that business for a couple of years, I decided, I want to be a pharmacist.
It was 1971, towards the end of the Vietnam War. Jon was working as a young pharmacist for his uncle and mentor in Casper, Wyoming, when he got the call to come back to Bakersfield from a familiar and divine intervention.
I was offered an opportunity to come back to Bakersfield to be a pharmacist for Mercy Hospital because they were desperate. They didn't have any pharmacists and they couldn't find any. The Sisters of Mercy said, come back and work for us here in Bakersfield because we have a community need for a pharmacist. And I said, okay.
Jon went on to make his mark in the local pharmacy field. Contacted by the Rufner family in 1973, Jon purchased the local family pharmacies, expanding the flagship retail store and country club liquors through development opportunities with the Alpha Beta Company. By the age of 30, he owned 3 drugstores, and over his career expanded to Orange County with 11 retail stores. But it was his volunteer work with the local chapter of the American Cancer Society that sparked his interest in the nonprofit world and changed the course on his road to success.
He was a pharmacist. He had his own pharmacy here, so I had to meet him at the pharmacy and meet with him, and he'd fill a prescription, then he'd come back and we'd chat for a little bit about some things. And he was great to work with. And at that time, he was so involved that he was being considered for a national position, and then obviously later on went to be one of the top national volunteers for the American Cancer Society.
It was during his time on the National Board of the American Cancer Society as chair of the Income Development Committee that Jon met his wife Phyllis, who was also working for the American Cancer Society in Atlanta. After 22 years in the pharmacy business, Jon decided to learn more about how he could better serve his community, so he enrolled at Cal State University Bakersfield. After 3 years of night school and weekend courses, Jon graduated with his Master's of Science degree in Administration and Healthcare and was named CSUB Outstanding Student, the Graduate Dean's Award.
The program is about developing people who are public servants, who are committed to the region and developing the various kind of services and things that are needed here. And Jon has been one of those excellent examples. When he came, he was already something of a rising star in the program in our healthcare management side, but he interacted very much with all of us. And it was real clear that he was committed to doing good things in the community.
Bakersfield Memorial Hospital President Larry Carr took notice of that rising star and hired Jon in January of 1993. As the assistant to the president, Jon was given a unique education in administration that involved years of attending hundreds of executive and medical staff meetings and working with the individual departments to understand how the hospital functioned. The leadership and respect he gained from his colleagues and the community led to his appointment of Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, and eventually the third full-time president in the history of Bakersfield Memorial Hospital. Jon has overseen the affiliation of Bakersfield Memorial with Mercy Hospitals and Catholic Healthcare West, the growth of Memorial's campus, including a new 124-bed tower, 2 emergency room expansions, the new Lawrence Small Children's Medical Center, and the only pediatric intensive care unit in the Central Valley. A new cath lab with a state-of-the-art expansion already under construction, and within a week, the opening of the new Hans Einstein front entrance pavilion at Bakersfield Memorial Hospital.
He's very responsive to the community. He's involved with the community. He's in Rotary Club, he's in other activities, the Chamber of Commerce, the Board of Trade. You just see Jon all around the community, so he knows what's going on here. And he also has a very great personality, at least I see it that way, because he's the kind of guy that you kind of like to kid and you like to kind of poke and prod him here and there, and he just takes it like a world champion.
Jon's leadership has not only helped provide state-of-the-art care for our community, but has led to yet another big change this year, as the president of Catholic Healthcare West, Lloyd Dean, took the CHW holding company to an operating company under Dignity Health, the largest hospital company in the western United States. Jon Van Boening was named Senior Vice President of Operations for the Central Valley service area.
Working with Jon and watching him navigate physician, quality of care, cancer, the Ronald McDonald House, he is truly a leader, but more than that, a master leader, because he's fair. He loves to deal with people fairly. He loves his community, but he's highly competitive. I love him for that. He loves to compete, but compete for the right reasons.
That competitive spirit may stem from his love of sports and the outdoors. He shared great times with family and friends, making memories. There are hunting trips in Wyoming and fishing around the world, with friends he describes as lifelong and infamous.
We're the Bulashita Fishing Club. I think that's a Hispanic word that probably you don't understand. That's what we called ourselves. And we fished everywhere from the tip of Alaska to South America. I mean, I fished Alaska, Canada, all over the United States.
A master chef, Jon specializes in Cajun cuisine. It's no surprise to those who know him that the LSU fight song is the ringtone on his cell phone. The father of 4 and grandpa to 7, Jon is a man who has the respect of many and is never afraid to have a little fun. Just ask his 10-year-old grandson, Aiden.
I'm proud of my grandpa because he helped a lot of people get better. He has a big job, and he is funny and serious and almost everything.
Balancing work, family, community service, and fun is a pretty big job. But for the 2012 John Brock honoree, there is still more work to be done.
Well, I think he's a very dedicated person. I think he has a very clear view of what his goals are and what he wants to achieve and accomplish in his life.
But no, he's been our outstanding graduate. He's been served on our foundation board. He's been called back as a guest speaker. We've tried to get him to come teach, but he doesn't have the time for that. But but he's been a real central figure. He is one who, once he left, kept wanting to give back.
Jon Van Boening, in my opinion, represents, when you turn around, all the things that you want a mother to say, wow, I am so proud of my son, and a father who would say, son, job well done. On their behalf, and I'm sure the community and all of his friends, the John Brack Award to him, job well done. And I can't think of a better recipient than John.